Jaimee Rogers is here.
Good morning, guys. Your day's just gotten better, hasn't it?
Did you have
Always in your presence.
Did you have performance anxiety yesterday?
I did. I was just telling you that story off air. So I'm hoping that Anthony Minicello is listening, because I know he does listen to this show.
You've got to tell the story now.
Well, you know, I was having to host a event yesterday, and Laurie Daly and Anthony Minicello were part of an NRL preview panel that I had to host, and I was holding onto the microphones with this dear life, and then next thing Anthony Minicello walks up and shakes my hand. I thought, oh no, he's going to remember me as Sweaty Hand Jaimee.
He did mention it to me when we walked away. He goes,
But
what about her hand?
He texted me this morning too. She's that girl.
God, that girl. Keep her away.
What about her sweaty hand?
Oh, I know.
Sweaty hand, Jaimee. There you
embarrassing.
go.
So yeah,
I'm
that's
sure it's
how
happened to him
you feel,
before.
Hey, we're no big rap on Mad Monday. What about you?
Yeah, well, boys, it's back in the headlines this week, and the NRL, they've unfortunately had negative headlines again. Is it time for Mad Monday to come to an end?
Oh, you know what? Players just have to realise they've got to behave. That's all it is. It doesn't matter whether it's known as Mad Monday or the players just get together and have a beer. Clubs will not sanction Mad Mondays anymore. They won't have anything to do with it. They won't organise it. But the players will get together at the end of the season to have a beer and celebrate the season that they've just had. But they've just got to remember, when you're out there having a good time, things that seem funny when you're on the drink, and it usually aren't. And we've all been there. We've all done silly things.
Funny when you're on the drink.
It is funny. Yeah.
Look, I shove my hand up.
Well,
I
am
can
too.
be a galoot too. So,
But there's certain things you can do and there's certain things you can't do. And
Not
you've
as
got
big as Laurie,
to
but-
know what's right from wrong.
Yeah.
And that's where you need your teammates who don't drink to pull you into line.
and
your leaders.
no club should ever sanction a Mad Monday. No.
Boys, the Melbourne Storm, they've implemented an AFL-inspired phone ban on players taking away their mobile phones 90 minutes before kickoff. So they actually have a dedicated staff member that collects all the phones as the players arrive onto the ground. Melbourne's GM of football believes this is what's giving them a distinct competitive advantage. Thoughts?
Yeah, I thought they did that anyhow.
I thought they did it anyway.
I thought they had to hand their phones in. But I was interested to read on the weekend, Craig Bellamy and his assistant coach, they took their phones to the coach's box and they were stolen.
Oh.
So
They got them knocked off.
Yeah, they got them knocked off. So they've been the police up there in the Central Coast are investigating who stole the coach's phones.
What about when Warney had to hand in his mobile phones?
Jeez, you get hold
He
of this,
just
wouldn't you?
it was like a Telstra shop. He just tipped them all. It was a nice little story, but I think most clubs sort of do it. But
Well, they have to have no phones from 60 minutes before kickoff.
Six-
But they're
and
allowed
they
to
do it
keep it
90.
on their person.
Yeah.
They're allowed to keep their phones, they just can't use it.
right, yeah.
Whereas the Storm make them put it in a box.
yeah,
You put the phones in
when
the
you're
box.
winning, everything you
Yeah,
do
exactly.
works.
Well, still on the Storm, boys, they've also been all over the headlines this week, and it was reignited yesterday with South Sydney boss Shane Richardson lashing out at the Storm, saying the Storm are simply the best at slowing down, lying and wrestling in tackles. We're not the only club that think they've gone too far. Something needs to be done. What are your thoughts on Melbourne's defensive tactics?
They do it better than anyone else. They consistently win the ruck. Most coaches are telling their players to do exactly the same thing. They've got wrestling coaches. This all comes about this time of year because the Rabbitohs know that they'll play Melbourne Storm at some stage in the finals, and they just want it out there so the referees take a little bit more notice.
Jaimee, it does my head in watching the Melbourne Storm. I've been tugging their tail all year, but they keep on winning because they're so good. But other coaches have got facts and figures and times on Melbourne, in particular, how they do get more leniency in that play the ball. So I don't know why it's not just a time thing. So they might wrestle
have a
better than
time
anybody else. Well, there's got to be a secret clock in the head of a referee where he's going, 1, 2, okay, get off.
Yeah, but this gets back to what we were
1,
talking about
2,
earlier,
okay,
about
get
being
off.
able to wrap the tackle player up, but allowing him to
But
still...
he's tackled, mate, isn't he?
Yeah, but TK...
You know what I mean? He's tackled.
Well, I know
buddy.
it's tackled, but what I'm saying is when you've got a guy and you've wrapped him up and he can't get rid of the ball, but you allow him to creep forward, the referee thinks that he's still got momentum. But
He clearly hasn't, has he?
But what it does, it gives you time to your other defenders to be back set.
I know, mate.
And then they slowly take you to the ground better than anyone while you still have that movement. And then they take their time getting off, just like everyone else. But they're better on top of the ground,
Fair point.
holding people up and then slowly taking them to the ground. That's the difference with Melbourne. It's the ability to take them to the ground slowly rather than being on the ground and peeling away. It's what they do on top of the ground rather than on the ground, which is a lot different to some of the other clubs.
Does my head in,
But
Jaimee.
well, you know what you do? You should be working on techniques to get out of those tackles, and working on techniques to have faster play the balls when you
Off the turnbuckle.
Well, you can. That's what you're there. That's what you could do to counteract what Melbourne are doing to you.
Well, let's swap codes, guys, and the AFL merry-go-round. So Carlton are set to announce that they have signed on interim coach David Teague as their permanent coach for next year. Do you think this is a strange move that they are going to announce it now rather than just wait till the end of the season to see what other coaches become available?
No, I think because he's done a terrific job since taking over. He's got the players' respect. I heard Patrick Cripps the other day, who's their best player and one of the favourites to win the Brownlow medal this year. He said that he's on the Teague train. That was his comment. He's on the Teague train.
Like the Ivan bus.
Yep, he wants to be on that train. They all respect him. He's only 38 years of age, but he's building an impressive record, and I think the sooner they announce the coach, the better.
I can tell you the AFL story, Jaimee, I want to talk about. Gil McLachlan, the boss, he was asked an honest question on Melbourne radio about Stephen Cornelio, who's the superstar for GWS. Now, everyone wants to tell you he's gone from GWS, who keep losing star players, right? And can't afford to lose star players. He got asked an honest question. He gave an honest answer. Now, would you like to see Stephen Cornelio stay with GWS?
There was anything wrong with it.
You know what he said? Yes, I would.
Yeah.
And then
And
I think
there's
it
a
was
blow-up.
Caroline Wilson said, have you told him? He said, I just have. Like, as in, you've asked me for an opinion. I gave it. And you know what?
What about the blow-up?
Mate, they're blowing up as if Gil McLachlan's got an axe and chopped him down at, in the middle of
Mate, he's
Flinders
done nothing
Street.
wrong. You want honesty from your leaders, and that's exactly what
absolutely.
I can't
he said.
believe the blow up.
No, neither could I. I think it's ridiculous, to be honest with you.
And you reckon it's not going to influence Stephen Cornelio?
No, he couldn't give two hoots what
Couldn't
Gil
give a
McLachlan
rat's
thought.
what-
He'll look at the money on offer. He'll look at the length of his contract, and he'll look at where he's going to win a premiership.
And then he'll look at the money on offer.
Yeah,
Go back to the money.
I just couldn't believe. I guess even if Todd said that, say about a Ben Hunt or anybody, or
Or Cameron Smith.
or a Kalen Ponga, or I don't think anyone would. Who cares
Well,
what?
No one
Yeah.
would take
Todd
that as
thinks.
seeing
No.
that he's influencing their decision to stay at that particular club.
No, it goes to show you though the amount of money, time, and perseverance the AFL's got invested in trying to make GWS a success. But that it was an obvious answer, I thought, from Gil.
yeah, definitely.
Burning questions.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the day.
And we'll let you go and wipe those. We've got some wet ones there
Yeah,
for you.
have
perfect.
got
I'll go
sweaty
and use
hands.
them. Yeah.
Good on you, Jaimee.
Thanks, guys.